I'm here with the former super featherweight IBO champ, Jeff Mayweather, brother of Roger Mayweather, brother of Floyd Mayweather Sr., uncle of Floyd Mayweather Jr. How are you doing today, champ?
I'm good. It is good seeing you again.
It's good seeing you. Long time no see.
Yeah, about 25 years.
Something like that.
Not
about
long.
that. Your nephew Floyd, he's got a big fight coming up this Sunday. Some might say his hardest fight ever. No, not really. But it is a fight. What do you think Floyd's going to do in this fight?
I think that Floyd is going to carry Logan a little bit because I think he really wants to punish him. And I already know that the fight with Jake is actually going to happen as well because Jake knows how to get under his skin. So that fight's going to happen. That's why he's been signed by Showtime because they know that fight is coming.
Do you think that was a smart move by Jake to agitate Floyd, or did he just make him angrier or make him want to beat up his brother more?
Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think that Floyd is going to take out what Jake did on Logan, and I think that what Jake also did was put himself in a position to be the next fight, in which is genius, you know, because I mean, like I said, you have guys who have been doing this their whole entire life. You're never going to see 1% of the money that these guys make, you know, and I mean, love it or hate it, it's here to stay after.
Your fighter, Vanell Riley, he was supposed to be on the card this Sunday. He couldn't due to visa issues. He's a guy, he's known as KSI's trainer, but not really as a fighter. What can you tell me about him as a person and as a fighter?
Well, I mean, great person. You know, I mean, he was kind of like my little brother when we were in camp. You know, I mean, we talk about everything except boxing, just life in general. And I mean, he seems like he's probably been here before. He's like an old spirit, and an old soul. It's like he's a guy that's like seems like he's about 50 or 60 years old already, and he's only 22. But I mean, most people don't know about his boxing background, but he's a really good boxer as well. And actually, what's the guy? Dubois? Something like that? The guy who just got beat by someone.
Oh, okay. Oh, Daniel Dubois?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He beat him in amateurs. And so, I mean, you know, he's beat some good fighters. And I do think that he will become the face of the cruiserweight division because of his background with social media. You know, because, I mean, these guys are bringing money to the table. And so, how can you be mad? You're only mad if you're not a part of it.
Speaking of cruiserweight, do you think he might have the frame to eventually go up to heavyweight? He's a young guy.
He's a young guy, but I think that he doesn't really want to fight at heavyweight. I think that, you know, because of, once again, the social media following, you don't have to. And so, I know when me and him talked, he said that he's going to fight probably maybe 5 or 6 years and then walk away from the sport. And I mean, that's great because, you know, his YouTube has become his career. More, just like the boxing. And so, I mean, I think it's great that, you know, you can make a living off YouTube. Even I do now. I'm a YouTube guy. And it's funny because when I go places, nobody know I ever box.
Oh, really?
No, they always say, you're the YouTuber.
Yeah, you're on the Mayweather channel.
Yeah, you're that YouTuber. Okay, yeah, I'll be that. So, it is so funny because I went to China. When I went there, it was like one person said, can I take a picture with you? I said, yeah. By the time that picture was taken, there was probably about 35 people.
Oh, really?
All of that one picture.
Speaking of heavyweights, you trained 3 heavyweight world champions, Sultan Ibragimov, Shannon Briggs, Charles Martin. What can you tell me about those 3, and what can you tell me about the difference between training a heavyweight and maybe training a guy in a smaller weight class?
Well, I mean, with heavyweight, of course, those guys punch a whole lot harder, so I got to train a whole lot smarter. And basically, a lot of guys don't really know how to hold mitts where, especially when you're dealing with big punchers, you got to meet. You can't let them do this because your arm is, I mean, I remember I got hit in the face by, Sultan Ibragimov. It wasn't when we were ready to fight Shannon, but he was getting ready to fight someone. I think he was getting ready to fight Holyfield. And I put my hand over it, and he hit me, boom, right in the face. I was dazed. So, I mean, you know, but I mean, I think that all 3 of the guys that I worked with were good fighters. I mean, Charles Martin never really got a chance to be, you know, because he held the title only one time for one defense. But, I mean, Shannon was a great fighter. I thought that Shannon could be one of the greatest fighters in history. But for some reason it didn't happen, you know. And Sultan was a guy who I was already told that if he loses, he's leaving. He's leaving boxing. And that's what happened. But I'm grateful and thankful that I had a chance to work with all 3. You know, and as far as human beings, they're all great human beings. So I enjoyed it.
You said Ibragimov accidentally hit you, he dazed you. Out of those 3, which one of them hit the hardest, you think?
Probably Shannon. I mean, Shannon's a bona fide puncher in 250 pounds. Sultan was like 206. But if you go by weight, if you're doing it by weight, I would say Sultan's a better puncher for being smaller, but Shannon is a puncher that when he hits you, something's gonna happen. So, and I mean, even Charles Martin was a big puncher too. But I think out of the 3, I think Shannon.
Your nephew Floyd, he calls himself the best ever. He's got the best ever hats. He's got a great resume, 50-0. He beat 23 world champions, 5 different weight classes. Do you think that his resume makes him the best ever, or do you think it can be anyone and that it's an opinion type thing?
Well, I think it's an opinion, but when you speak numbers, you speak Floyd. But you speak opinions, it's whoever you like. I can say I like Jerry Corey. He's my favorite fighter, so he's my best fighter ever. You know, but I mean, that's how boxing works. I mean, boxing a lot of it is about opinions, more so than facts. And so when you're dealing with facts, I mean, undisputed, Floyd is the best. You know, so I mean, to me, he is the best. And I mean, of course, partly is because he's my nephew. And I mean, I'm not necessarily being biased, because if someone else was 50-0, I probably would be saying the same about them. You know, it just so happened that it's my nephew. And this is something that my entire family already thought would happen. So it's no surprise to us. It's a surprise to you guys. So, I mean, he's exactly where we thought he would be. And the only thing different now is that we never knew about this new thing that's coming along now.
You didn't predict that?
No, I couldn't.
You didn't think you'd fight Logan Paul?
No way.
I thought that 10 years ago.
I never knew that YouTubers were ever gonna fight. I mean, it's so funny, and I think that they have Logan and KSI to thank for that. Because, and one thing I do respect them, take my hat off to them, because they both work extremely hard. Even Jake, they all 3 of them work extremely hard. So you gotta take the hat off to them, but they're also guys that don't have to work from the ground up. They're guys that can pick names, just like Jake. He hasn't fought nobody. I mean, Okay, yeah, his record is great, but who has he fought? Realistically, no one.
What do you think about his next opponent, Tyron Woodley?
But I think he's gonna have some trouble. And I'm not saying that he's gonna beat Tyron Woodley or lose to him, but I mean, because Tyron Woodley still hasn't been a boxer. So what I need to do with this?
What is it? Oh. I will edit it.
But no, I think that Tyron Woodley, I mean, he's a great athlete, but he still isn't a boxer. It's the same thing with Ben Askren. You give a guy 12 weeks to become a boxer, it's not gonna happen. You know, I mean, Jake has been doing this now for 3 years. So, I mean, he is getting better. And now he's also getting experience under his belt. So, I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for Woodley.
Do you think we're gonna see your guy KSI fight Jake in the future?
He said he is, but I do think that the longer he stays away, the less a chance he's gonna have of winning. If they were to do it within the next 6 months, maybe even in the next year, I think he still has a chance. But if he let a year get past him, I don't think he'll beat Jake. I don't see that, because boxing is a sport where you have to stay on top of it. And if he doesn't, I can't see him getting any better.
Is KSI training hard in England right now, or is he kind of taking a break?
Well, I mean, that's the thing with these YouTubers. You don't really know. I mean, and I'm not there, but the thing is, you don't really know because they're doing so many other things. You know, I mean, KSI is doing music, he's doing branding, he's doing a little bit of everything. So I don't even know if he's training or not. You know, I know that Vanell is not training him anymore. So he has a new trainer. So I wouldn't even know.
If someone told you while you're preparing KSI for Logan Paul that Logan's next fight would be against your nephew Floyd, what would your reaction be?
I would laugh about it. But the one thing is this. I think Jake was one that could have got the fight. But I think Jake was sleeping. And he was so caught up in fighting basketball players and baseball players and figure skaters and all this other bullshit that he didn't have a time to think about, wait a second, I should call out Floyd. Because he don't realize that. He probably didn't think Floyd would even take that, you know, as serious. But his brother, who's 1-1, said, shit, fuck it, I'm gonna take my chance. So he did something and saw Floyd, and Floyd said, okay, let's do it. And that's what happened.
Who do you think is the better boxer between Logan and Jake?
I don't really know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. See, people giving Jake too much credit for nothing. Because he didn't beat no fucking body. To me, if you beat a basketball player, you beat a wrestler, you never fought nobody. So I'm not on this wagon like that. I just think that he got wins. Logan doesn't have any wins. That's it. I don't think neither one of them are that great. I just think that, you know, Jake, because he has knockouts against, like I said, a fucking guy that never boxed in his life. He beat a basketball player and a wrestler, and what's his other fight? He fought, the other guy was another YouTuber.
All right, Jeff, we covered a lot of topics. Influencer boxing, real boxing, everything in between. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we head out?
Yes. Logan, you're gonna get a great payday, but you're also gonna get a great ass whooping.
There you go, Logan. Straight from Jeff Mayweather himself. Who knows Floyd better than Jeff?